Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's snowing here. You can see out the window in the background. We are getting a ton of snow this morning. I'm going to add Marty. Hopefully, she is down earlier today, as you guys probably know, but is back up, and so we're hopping on and talking to you. There's Marty.
There we go.
Hi, Marty. How are you?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
We made it through a rough morning of Instagram being down and scrambling and not sure what we were going to do, but here we are, and it's a gorgeous snowy day. And I just want to make sure that everybody knows there are lots of sources for you breast cancer patients out there. Lots of sources for you to go to get all kinds of advice on a variety of different things, from how to treat symptoms to just knowing what is happening to you, or different types of treatments, or what to expect with different treatments, and what options for surgeries, what options for chemo, what options for radiation, all those types of things. But I hope you feel like this is your place to go to get information about how to deal with the emotional impact of breast cancer. And because breast cancer affects every aspect of your life. At least that's how it's been for me. It has affected me not just physically, but it has affected me financially. It has affected me emotionally, spiritually, and definitely with relationships. And that is what we're going to talk about today, because relationships is a big one. This is big. This is kind of heavy. But when a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer, her whole family is diagnosed with breast cancer. And it's something that affects every member of your family. If they know you, they are impacted. And they are trying to manage that impact while they are still trying to support you. Hopefully, they're still trying to support you. And that is what I have experienced. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, especially the situation where you have a member of your family that you have a good relationship with, but after your diagnosis, they pull away for a variety of reasons. And this happens, unfortunately, it happens too often. This happened to me, and I don't know if it was because of my cancer diagnosis or not, but I have a son that we have a very, very strained relationship. I love him to death. I just love him so much. It hurts, and I miss him so bad, but he won't talk to me or pretty much be around me. And it's been a year and a half. So fall of
Wow.
2022. I
Wow.
I have seen him here and there, but it is it is hard. It is painful, and it is something that I deal with every day, all day long. There is a pain in my heart. My heart is broken because of that. And I won't even talk to you about my daughter right now, because I love her so much too. And yeah, I have a broken heart because of two of my kids right now. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to you, Marty. Help us know how to handle these broken relationships or strained relationships because of cancer, or what is going on with cancer.
Yeah. Um, uh, I mean, how many hours do we have, right? It's
Okay.
really big, but we'll do some concrete things today. Um, like first of all, when we're hurting, when there's something that's upsetting us, usually our first like our knee jerk reaction is to try to fix it by controlling it. And so you can't fix that relationship all by yourself, but you can do things to not damage it more, right?
Good news. Good news.
A lot of times when there's something we don't like, emotionally speaking, we start flailing around and kicking and screaming about it. And that's going to hurt the relationship. That's going to impact their desire to come back. You know, if the few times that you do get to talk to your son, if you're like, man, I hardly ever get to talk to you anymore, I really miss you. Depending on how you approach that, that could be a guilt trip and not an I love you. You know what I mean?
So true. I know exactly what you mean.
And so, you know, approaching them with as much like just giving space and generosity as you can is going to help them want to even approach. If you're like, oh, woe is me, my son left me when I got cancer, they're going to be like, yeah, who wants to hang out with her? You know?
So true.
And that kicking and flailing and screaming about it that we do emotionally. Now, I'm not saying that you're like throwing literal tantrums.
Yeah.
But on the inside, when we're upset about something, in a lot of ways, we're kicking and screaming about it. And that actually also hurts ourselves. If every morning you're getting up and your version of kicking and screaming is, oh my gosh, now it's been this many days since I've heard from my son. I feel so betrayed. Why doesn't he love me? If that's your version of kicking and screaming about it, all you're doing is hurting yourself.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things for us to do with anything that comes our way is acceptance. And acceptance, like, we're afraid of it because if we accept the problem, then we're not going to be solving it. We're just laying down and being a doormat and accepting it. That's not really what acceptance means. I'm not talking about being a doormat. I'm not talking about being passive. I'm talking about having the amazing radical courage to accept reality. We spend so much time and energy denying reality, whether it's something little like scrolling on Instagram because we don't want to think about what we should be doing right now, or if it's something bigger like actually being in denial. We spend so much time and energy on avoiding reality, and the truth will set you free. The pain of not being with your son will always be there. But it doesn't have to be coded in extra and unnecessary barbs and stickers. And acceptance will help you alleviate that pain. And so one form, like acceptance can take different forms, right? But one form of acceptance is, again, going back to the self-care that we've discussed. Talking to yourself. Cami, I know that hurts so bad and you're so lonely right now. I love you. I'm here for you. Like, this is you saying that to yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes. I say it to you, Cami, I love you. I'm sorry you're hurting. But like the self-compassion that you turn on yourself. Like I'm in a phase of my life where I do not have the companionship that I wish that I did, right? And the other day I was leaving the house for an errand. When my loved ones leave the house, I want to hug them goodbye and tell them that I love them. And I was feeling kind of lonely in that moment. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to give myself a hug goodbye. I was like, hey, sweetheart, have a good day. I love you. Like, it's not the same, but it's also not kicking and screaming about what I don't have.
Right.
Right? It's a form of acceptance and then giving myself the care and love that I want It's a way of just saying, okay, this is the situation I have. I'm going to do good things with it instead of moping about it.
I love that. Like, there's still a
Mhm.
choice. Even though somebody has done something that hurts you, you still have a choice. I remember a few different moments when you're talking about escaping and trying to cover up the reality and what did you say about that? Like
We
we spend
avoid
so much
reality.
avoid.
When we don't like something, we avoid
Yes.
reality.
Okay, avoiding. I I didn't think I was trying to avoid that reality, but I remember one day I was in the kitchen and I can't remember what exactly happened, but it was like something settled over me and I was faced with the reality of my situation. My son won't talk to me, and there was more, yeah, about that. That was very painful. And my daughter won't talk to me. And it was just like I had to face it in that moment. And this is really where I'm at. This is what is happening to me. And this has been this way for a while, and I cannot fix it. And I
Yeah.
felt like in that moment, it was kind of scary because I was facing it and I wasn't just
Mhm.
automatically being like, okay, I'm going to go do something else and avoid that feeling. I kind of let myself feel it and was a little bit frustrated. Like, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with these kids that I love so much. But then I did feel like I had a choice at that point. I could go down that path and go towards, oh, well, if two of my kids don't like me, maybe nobody likes me.
Mm.
Maybe that's where I'm at. Maybe that's who I am. Maybe nobody. And I felt like there was that option
Mhm.
to go there, and I had to make the conscious choice, and it was hard, and I had to be like, no, that this is happening, but and it's happening to me, but it's not who
Mhm.
I, it's a very similar thing that I would have to do with cancer, right? Like,
Mhm.
this all encompassing, it's affecting all of me, but it's not who I am. And I had to make that
Yes.
choice to turn away. I wasn't like avoiding the situation. I was fully aware. I was accepting, like, this is really what's happening and it's painful. But which path am I going to go? And in my mind, it was just like there were just two options.
Yes. And so what you're beautifully illustrating is that you faced reality, but that didn't mean that you chose to wallow in it.
Yeah.
There is a difference between wallowing and accepting, just like there's a difference between accepting and avoiding. And so accepting your reality doesn't mean that now that's your identity. Doesn't
Right.
mean that now you're launching a pity party. Doesn't mean that now you're basically wallowing is an unhealthy coping mechanism, right?
Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
and so you were choosing not to identify with that reality.
Yeah.
And that's key. And like we have as human beings, oh my goodness, bless our hearts. Like we have such a tendency to go to extremes
Yeah.
that, okay, I'm either totally denying reality or I'm totally just, oh, everybody hates me. Now that I have cancer, I've lost everybody. Like that doesn't do you any good either,
Right.
right? So yeah, you're beautifully illustrating accepting reality, but not identifying with reality. It's an experience that you are currently having,
Yeah.
but it's not you.
And I have to say that I have not always been able to choose the right path in those situations, right? Like, sometimes it's just, I already feel like I'm falling down that path and I'm just rolling and it's going to take something to stop me, you know? But,
I mean, welcome to being human.
Exactly.
You know,
But
we
it's
get, like
remembering.
Peter, like if I can go biblical for a minute,
Yeah.
Peter gets such a bad rap for looking at the storm and getting scared and sinking in the water. But dude, he had the courage to step out
Yeah.
on, on the water.
Right.
And so, yeah, like you're learning stuff, you want to choose well. It's really easy for us to be like, oh no, like I started wallowing, now I suck. Well, that's another version of wallowing. It's okay to make mistakes and to go, oh, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
This must not be the way that I really want to live. Okay, what have I done that now I'm feeling so crappy? Oh, I'm wallowing. I'm identifying with my problem. Whew, glad that came to my attention. Now I can choose
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. I think in the moment, it's sometimes really hard to recognize what's happening.
For
Like
sure.
it's emotional.
Mm-hmm.
We're very caught up in emotions, and until we can see, like, oh, I'm feeling these intense emotions, but I can choose to help myself move in a different direction. Sometimes it's just letting yourself feel all that emotion too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We get scared of emotion, but like not feeling it just continues to build up the pressure.
Yeah.
Go ahead and feel it. It'll be, you know, less of a geyser than if you bottle it up for a long time.
Yeah.
You're going to feel it no matter what.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let yourself feel it while it's small.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Any other suggestions about strained relationships that we can't control?
Yeah.
We're acknowledging it. We're not avoiding the reality of the situation. We're going to let ourselves feel the emotions. Anything
Mm-hmm.
you want to touch on?
I mean, really, any of these problems that we're discussing, a really great tool that you can use to face anything is some self-compassion. I know, sweetheart, this sucks. I'm sorry. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the different things that we've talked about. Use some touch.
Yeah.
Um, and saying things out loud has a lot of power. Keeping it in our heads, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just feels worse that way. If you say out loud, my son's not talking to me and it hurts, you're going to be able to move on a lot quicker than if you spend the morning, oh, this is hard.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? Just call it out, say it out loud. And it's almost like your body's going to go, yeah, it does hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for acknowledging that. Now we can keeping on.
That is brilliant. It's so simple, but that's so true. And I think that's why
It's
it helps.
amazing.
Yeah, I think that's sometimes why it helps to talk to somebody else about what you're doing,
Yes,
right? Like you
yes,
get it
yes.
out of yourself and kind of share it with somebody else, and then it's
Mhm.
not.
And that is why talking about it helps, but honestly, it makes a difference to say it out loud to yourself too.
Yeah,
Like
that's
like
brilliant.
I have woken up in the middle of the night and said, "Gosh, I am so scared," and felt better and fell back asleep.
I love
It
it.
really it
Yeah.
really does make a difference.
Okay. That is really a very simple tool because I do have a lot of those moments where I wake up in the middle of the night and the reality of my situation and all the unknowns really hits me.
Hmm. Yeah,
But yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, because I was just going to go back to just to kind of, are we ready to wrap up? Do you have anything else that you want to mention? Okay.
I mean, I can talk forever, but
Okay. Anything else that you want to throw in there before I wrap this up?
I just well, I don't want to give so many things that people can't like, like let's focus on these concrete things and really practicing them.
Yeah.
It's the same, it's every single problem that we're facing, Cami, it's that Olympic athlete analogy. So if you're practicing and getting in the habit of saying it out loud when you have an emotion that's feeling daunting to you, that is a practice that is going to help you in this ongoing event. Self-compassion is a practice that's going to help you in this ongoing event. Accepting reality, choosing not to wallow, those are all little things that you're going to have chances to practice every day.
I love it.
And they are going to build your ability to cope.
Yeah. I love it. Those are really practical things that we can do. We can practice them every day. We can do our Olympic athlete training for breast cancer
Mm-hmm.
and life.
Mm-hmm.
And just to kind of wrap this up, I think about, the different people in my family that have been affected by my diagnosis and just life and its strained relationships. But there are people that are still part of my life that will let me give them a hug and let me comfort them and will talk to me, and we can talk through things and we can accept the reality and we can do these things that you're talking about. And I'm one of those people. I can go through this with myself. I can accept that reality. I can comfort myself. I can say these things out loud and choose not to wallow. And I just think that, yeah, it's relationships with other people. And there's only so much I can do to control that, but I can do a lot to control the relationship that I have with myself. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And as your relationship with yourself improves, that makes space for other relationships to improve as well.
I love that. I'm going to write that one down. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Marti. And thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. We hope this has helped you on your cancer journey. And just know that we are thinking of you. We're praying for you. We know that this affects all aspects of your life. And we're here with you. We're going through it with you. We're syncing up so we can swim together. And just know that you are loved and you can do this. Bye. Have
Absolutely.
a Bye.